Who is the most popular character in Mario Sluggers? This is a question I've wondered for a long time, and I finally set out to find the answer. I made a Google form, and we also ran a bunch of community polls on YouTube. So, let's go over the results of the form first. The Google form asked the users to pick their 5 favorite and 5 least favorite characters from all of Sluggers, not including the alternates. And we got 120 responses from Mario Sluggers fans, so I think we got a pretty great sample size. I added up all the likes a character got, which is when they got placed in the top 5, and I subtracted the number of dislikes they got, which is when they got placed in the bottom 5, and then I got to a final score. Let's start with the most hated players. At the number 5 least liked spot, we have a tie between Baby Luigi and Baby Daisy with a score of -31. Baby Luigi had 2 top 5 finishes and 34 bottom 5 finishes. Baby Daisy had 3 top 5 finishes, but 35 bottom 5 finishes. What people said about these characters is that the babies are just so annoying, and that Baby Daisy has little reason to exist and is never someone that they use. The third most hated character is the Mii, which I can absolutely see and I agree with. The Mii had 6 first place votes and 40 bottom 5 votes, so 40 people out of the 120, which is 1/3 of all the people, said that Mii was one of their 5th least favorite characters, which honestly is understandable. People commented that the Mii is lame, and that the Mii is the worst character in the game, and that they just were overall butchered from what they could be, which I agree with. The second most hated character with a score of -35 is Noki. What? This came as a surprise to me because I think this being one of Noki's only playable appearances ever, I thought Noki was more liked than this, but Noki only got 5 likes and 40 dislikes, so the same as me, just 1 fewer like. People didn't comment too much on the Nokis, but someone did say that Noki is very forgettable. I think Noki's just quiet. I don't think Noki's forgettable. I think her ball dash makes her a pretty nice fielder, so I think I disagree with the community here. But in last place, by a significant margin, is, you might have guessed it, Tiny Kong. Tiny Kong only got 1 top 5 vote, which might have actually just been a pity vote, and 38 bottom 5 finishes with a score of -37. Someone commented that Tiny Kong is just ugly, and that Tiny Kong is the only actively bad character, just because why didn't they include Chunky and Lanky Kong and just Tiny Kong? I can understand the comments about her design change because she looks way different than she did in Donkey Kong 64, but I think she's a cool member of the Kong community, and I'm glad she's in the game, though I wouldn't pick her as my top 5 player. Some of the other disliked characters are Dixie Kong, Baby Mario, Baby Peach, Toadsworth, Goomba, Paragoomba, Paratroopa, and Toadette. Someone did say honorable mention for every baby character as the worst, which is kind of how the voting happened here, except Baby DK, who was hated a little bit less, but still, he was at a negative score, which I am surprised at, honestly. Now, for the top 5 most liked characters in Mario Sluggers. Again, at the 5th spot, we have a tie between Yoshi and Critter, both with scores of +23. It seems like all the different Critter colors get plenty of attention. In the comments, we had someone who said, Blue Critter deserves more love, Blue Critter is my favorite alt, Brown Critter is the best Critter, and also that they like Green Critter and Red Critter. Someone did comment that Dark Blue Yoshi was their favorite, which is interesting considering his hitting stat is just awful. But I think the love for Yoshi is ubiquitous. I don't think people thought they had to explain themselves. He's just beloved in any game he's in, and considering that he's such a good character in this one, I think this placement makes sense. And at third, one of the more interesting choices, who got 31 likes, only 4 dislikes for a score of 27, is Drybones. And I think pretty much all of Drybones' love is for Darkbones. I got so many comments about how Darkbones is the best bones, or Darkbones is better than the normal Drybones, and I got one about green Drybones. But it's really amazing how much Darkbones is loved. At second place is Funky Kong with a score of plus 29. And amazingly, he had 29 likes and 0 dislikes. He was one of 2 characters to not get any bottom 5 placements on the list. This makes sense to me. As one of the better players in the game, he's got some of the best animations and sound effects as well, and this love also carries over from Mario Kart Wii probably. And in first place, with a score of, what? 51, is, you probably guessed it, PD Piranha. 53 likes and only 2 dislikes, so almost half of these responses chose him in their top 5 favorite. PD is the face of Sluggers. I don't care about Mario. PD is the face of Mario Sluggers, so this pick entirely makes sense. I was shocked by how much it was, but I shouldn't have been, because he hits bombs, he can be argued to be the best player in the game, and is just so unique. You never would have expected to see him come back from Double Dash to star in a sports game. He's always relegated to be a boss. I'm glad he's able to show off in this game, and hopefully for future games as well. But there are some other picks who deserve attention and got a lot of love in the comments, mainly of which is Hammer Bro. A lot of people commented that Fire Bro is their favorite character in the game, and honestly, I understand that. Fire Bro is really cool, but also a lot of people commented that they love Boomerang Bro. I think all the 3 bros are great variants, and I'm super happy they're in this game. Toad also was 6th place here and got a lot of love in the comments, specifically Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, and Purple Toad. King Boo also barely missed the top 5, but he was the only other one other than Funky who was not disliked at all. He got 17 likes and 0 dislikes. Honestly, I think he deserves better. He should be in the top 5, but I'm glad nobody put him in the bottom 5. Of course, no popular character video would be complete without talking about Monty Mole. If you go by purely like count, Monty was actually tied for 3rd with Funky on this list. However, he got 29 likes and 23 dislikes, so his score was pretty average overall. But wow, he got a lot of love in the comments. People saying he's the best character hands down, he makes a really good second baseman, or just saying Monty, Moneyball, majestic, masterful, the whole thing. So he is very beloved, but apparently a pretty polarizing character too. Some people do not like him. And so I can understand both sides, but I thought I might as well point him out here because he's clearly popular. Next, let's talk about the YouTube community polls, which each got at least 1,000 votes, the finale even 2,000, so this is even a bigger sample size. We did this in a format of taking just chunks, 4 or 5 character chunks of the roster and pitting them against each other, and then bringing them all into a final, semi-final thing. The semi-final featured Funky Kong, Dry Bones, Hammer Bro, Petey, Yoshi, Monty Mole, Shy Guy surprisingly, Mario, and Pianta. Yoshi won the first semi-final group with a score of 44%, whereas Mario only got 10% of the votes. And not surprisingly, Petey won the other semi-final, though Funky Kong did put up a good fight with 25% of the votes. And in the final matchup, Yoshi versus Petey Piranha, Petey dominated, taking 2/3 of the votes. And so there you have it. We can definitively say that Petey Piranha is the most popular character in Mario Sluggers, with players like Funky, Dry Bones, Yoshi, Hammer Bro, Critter, and Toad taking up spots right behind them. As always, thank you for watching, and thank you for participating in the polls if you did so. We'll see you next video.